Daddy smoked it, man! The power that Miss Ethelyn Kane has over me is growing stronger and stronger every day. You know, I'm not going to be angry with you because I'm not that kind of parent, but I will be extremely disappointed with you if you have not yet listened to Willoughby Tucker, I'll Always Love You. Just listen to it. Your life will change forever. I'm not saying for the better, but hey. Needed this. You know, drinking all this love potion kombucha has really got me thinking about my past loves. Or should I say, past lusts. I kind of brushed over the fact that in my last, I don't remember the last time we called, when I talked about having a heart attack, I sort of just brushed over the fact that, yes, me, faggy little me, has in fact tried to sleep with a woman. And it didn't go over well, okay? Well, I don't care what they say. It is in your head. It's biological. My body may want something, but my mind stops me from making love to beautiful women. And I'm sorry to disappoint you all. I know all you girls at home are like, oh, but Zach, you're such a heartthrob. And I'm sorry to disappoint you. But if you have a brother. Growing up and going to school, I was never one of those gays who was like, I have to date a girl to get by and stuff. Because really, no one really cared. Boy or girl, no one really wanted my cookies for a long time. I know everyone goes through different situations, but my situation, I was just like, I'm not about to play a woman. A woman? Why would I, a gay guy, that's what I am. Why would I ever lead a girl on, a beautiful woman who deserves to be protected and is sacred? So like, why would I ever lead a woman on and make her think that she's going to get a little piece of this? And by little, I mean very, very, very little. But that never really stopped me from toying with the idea of having a girlfriend. Okay, everyone else has a girlfriend. Why can't I have a girlfriend? So what, I just want to kiss boys? So when I was like 11 or something, my family and I and all of our family friends would all get together and go to this like lake and all camp there. And there was this one beautiful girl there. And when I say beautiful, I'm talking like Madison Beer. I'm talking like Elphaba. I can't really think of a comparison right now. But me and my little 11-year-old boy mind, who was like, all the other boys around me have girlfriends. I was like, I gotta put a ring on that. So I did in fact do everything in my power to get that girl. I would say, hey, you want to go for a bike ride? You want to go for a bike ride? You want to wander around the woods? Like, just do fun stuff like that. I think that's fun and innocent. So after about one summer of that, the next year, I popped the big question. I got down on one knee with a ring pop and I said, do you want to be my girlfriend? And then she said yes, and then we never really talked after that. And now she's in fact pregnant and married. So, yeah. So after that fleeting romance fizzled away, I was just kind of sitting there like, okay, I gotta find someone else. So this brings us into junior high, when I, looking like this, was in desperate need of a girlfriend. Well, not really, because I had no intention of, you know, making love to said girlfriend. More so just like holding hands and getting ice cream, and I just kind of wanted a friend. I'm a quarter Italian, okay? So romance is in my blood. It's in my boots. So one Valentine's Day, I got up the courage. I went to the store, I got a box of chocolates and a little red bear with a little red heart. And I went up to one of the girls at my school and I said, will you be my Valentine? Keep in mind, this man is asking you to be his Valentine. And she said yes. And, you know, we kind of only talked to each other just for like that day. And then she became a furry, which is cool. But really up until this point, there was only really those two girls in my entire life. And I was okay with that. But I was a teenager. I was like, oh, there's so many different things going into my mind. I know I love boys. I know I'm attracted to men, but women are beautiful. And what does that mean? What does that mean? Why do I think they're beautiful? Does that mean I want some of their cookies? If I look a little different, it's because I was just inside and I ate half a bag of Takis. Now, if you're a certain boy watching this who asked if I like snacks and I said I didn't, and you were finding out now that I was lying, that's because it's embarrassing to like Takis. Okay? I don't like Takis, I swear. They just have a chokehold on. Also, pay no mind to the quaff, the Justin Bieber vibe that I have going on in my head. Those Takis really did a number on me. But anyways, back to the time that I tried to sleep with a woman. Bongo. I don't know if it was just a me thing because, like, growing up, I didn't know, like, being gay was an option. I didn't know that, like, I could just be gay. I could just be gay. Like, growing up, all of my friends were girls, except there was one guy. And all of my girls' friends, they were all, like, baddies. They were all baddies. So then in my little boy mind, I was like, So these women are beautiful, and all the other boys around my age that are like me, they all have girlfriends. So I kind of had like an internal battle of what it means to be like actually attracted to someone. And then an opportunity presented itself that, well, led me to find out the truth. So there was this girl I was friends with growing up who is a goddess of a woman, a beautiful woman. And we had been close friends like literally my entire life. Up until this point, I'm like 17 perhaps. And I go over to hang out with her at her house. And I walk in and I'm like, who is that? Who's that tall glass of water? Papa's thirsty. When I tell you her man looked exactly like Shawn Mendes, like, we don't have to be ordinary. Like that Shawn Mendes. Like she won. And keep in mind, I look like this. And this man here, he saw Shawn Mendes and he said, yes, please. Yes, please. Can I get it with a side of fries? So me and the girl are like super close. Like we joke about flirty little things all the time, and we just joke about it because it was lighthearted. We kind of have a brother-sister sort of friendship. Looking back, pretend I didn't say that. And you know what? We're the same age. We're like teenagers at this point. We like to party. We like to have a little fun. Okay, sue me. Sue me. And it didn't help that her boyfriend and I also got along really well. So when they invited me to the party, I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to go party with you. This is a reoccurring theme, as you can tell from all of our calls. I like to party back in the day. And what? Now you're yelling at me? So us three are at this house party. We're having a good time. We're drinking. Just for the sake of the story and for legal reasons, pretend that we're over 18. So as the night progresses, you know, we've been drinking, and I can feel their vibe kind of switch, like my friend and her boyfriend. There's a vibe shift, and it's very like a vibe, like, whoa, oh, like sensual sort of vibe going on. And I'm like, what is going on? And then that is where they offered me a proposition. They were like, hey, Zach, what do you say? What do you say you just spend the night? You just spend the night at our place tonight. And, you know, this isn't foreign to me. I've spent the night with them before, but the way they asked it, there was something sinister. As you know, since we go way back, I'm always down to clown. So I was like, hell yeah, of course I'll spend the night with you guys. That sounds fun. So we walk back from the house party. We go over to his dad's house because that's where he's staying, because we're all 17. We're all young and dumb and full of cunt. Believe it or not, this may be extremely hard to believe, but I am actually a bit of a shy guy. I can be very like shy and coy. So when we were all sitting on the bed and they were both looking at me like, do you want to kiss? So when you say kiss, do you mean like bofa? You mean like him and her? You mean bonk bonk? I was incredibly nervous, but the vibe was right. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. YOLO! YOLO! So then she goes in for a kiss. We kiss and it's very sensual. And I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. But there's no movement. There's no movement if you catch my drift. And then Shawn Mendes, he looks over and he says, come here. And he gives me a smooch. When I tell you there was movement. But, you know, I just wasn't satisfied with that answer. That could mean anything. So if there was a movement, maybe my heart was beating different and then it couldn't pump blood. I don't know. So then things como este, how do you say, heated up a little bit. Now, we didn't go full freaky. And I'll leave some details up for the imagination because not everything needs to be on the internet, okay? And we kind of just left it at that. Like, we were all wasted, so we were like, we're just making out. Like, this is crazy. We should just go to bed. So the next day, the vibes were totally cool. It was like, yeah, we're friends and we just made out a little bit. Who cares? Whatever. It's like the 70s. Woo! Her and I were kind of just talking on and off for the rest of the week. And then she said, hey, Sean's coming over this weekend. Would you want to come over? Safe to say all I text back was, okay. This weekend was when Freak Tower 2 was hit. Dead on. Because when I tell you, as soon as I got over to their place, like we weren't drinking, we weren't anything. We were just hanging out. And we were just chilling and talking. And then we were like, let's cut the bullshit. We all know why we came here. We're just a couple teenagers just trying to have a little fun. So we all start making out. It's crazy. We all start making out. Things escalate. We're naked. We're all naked in bed. The three of us. Things are going crazy. We're all, you know, diddling around, whatever. Ah! I just got to chill like it's not that deep. So anyways, he and her are getting freaky. They're starting to get freaky. And then at the same time, him and I are just making out and doing all that stuff. And this was the first and only time I touched a vagina. Why am I talking about this on the internet? But anyways, him and her are going at it, and I'm just touching. I'm just like, yes, girl, you better work. I'm just touching it. And, you know, it's not like I'm repulsed by it or anything. I was just like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do, and I didn't want to, like, hurt her or do anything like that. So I was just like, yes, girl, you better work. You better work. And, you know, things were going good. And then they were like, all right, it's your turn. And I was like, okay. I've never done this before. Now, at this point, I had obviously slept with men before because, look at me. Gay guy, did you forget? You know when you have, like, one of those little vials of slime and you take the slime out and then you're trying to put the slime back in? That's sort of what was going on. Fell off harder. And they all knew I was gay, so it was totally fine. It was totally chill. They're all just like, oh, Zach, you little laffy taffy, softy little queer. But it's safe to say that slime turned into concrete when Shawn Mendes said, get over here. I used to have so much fun. Let's just say that man made me bongos. It was bump. I haven't had many experiences with 3 people in the same bed. But let's just say there was like no awkward vibes. Everyone was having a good time. It was bump. It was great, and I highly recommend. But it taught me a lot about myself. And that, you know, no matter how beautiful I think women are, I'm just built different. I'm built to be pounded out by a man. But even to this day, sometimes I see a beautiful woman and I'm like, I will fall to my knees for you and worship you like the goddess you are. But that doesn't mean certain things. At the end of the day, if I have a man or a woman, there's only one that I want to eat their ass.